Welcome CNG 132 online. Today is Friday, 8:48 a.m. Just like to address a few things that I saw this week, and we can make corrections. I know you guys are getting used to the course. Maybe this is your first time taking an online course. Excuse me. Maybe this is your first course ever taken. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're correcting ourselves as we're going into the weekend and making sure we have some adjustments for next week. I read the discussions. Everything looks on track, just as it should. But let's make sure that when we're doing or needing some help, that we're posting in the lab discussion here, just like I did as a test. I posted that I'm having trouble with LabSim 1-1, and then Marquez, he did a follow-up, and then myself, I did a follow-up to that. So remember, if you have a new problem, make sure to go start new thread and say your problem. Remember, there are about 28 of you and just one of me. This is a really large class for this class, and I usually go from about 8 in the morning to about 5 o'clock at night, looking at the online content, answering questions. But if you have an issue, make sure to post it here. The most valuable takeaway from that, so I can help identify that you're having an issue, and other students can see that maybe you're having an issue and help answer that. I know some of you probably start working on this class after 5 o'clock. Some of you work on it on the weekend solely. Some of you might work on it from I don't know, 10 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. There's all different kinds of people, so if you do have a question, make sure to post it there. Because there's probably a chance that somebody's going to answer it before I even get to it. Usually in the daytime I'm teaching face-to-face classes, but I do check in between classes to answer questions, and I look specifically at this. Let's go back to discussions. As I was reading through discussions, it looked like everybody had some really good input. Let's see. Some really good input. A lot of you chose 1-1 case projects. That's asking 1-2, 1-4. So as we see, we kind of gravitate towards the same cases, but when we look at each individual case, the answer or the proposed topics is slightly different. One of them, I guess the one that stuck out in my head, was social engineering. Why do people keep using that? Because it's the most successful. And it is human nature to want to help somebody, so that's why social engineering is still really, really popular, and it's important to not only be aware of it of yourself, but how do you train other people to be aware of it also, but still not lose that human factor. So good work on the discussions. There were a few of them that were like one sentence that I tried to propose a question to. Hopefully you kind of take that away as we go into the weekend. Make sure that those replies are 2 to 3 sentences long, substantial. You know, it's good to compliment somebody on a good post and say, hey, look, I really like your post, but that's not enough. I really like your post because of this. You know, I shared this experience recently, and maybe tell a short, brief story so you guys connect to each other. Remember, you're not in this class alone. There's myself. You have 27 other students. They're all there looking at your post, looking to help you and get you through this course. So never feel by yourself. As for content, make sure you go into the get the assignments done, the project done. I saw there was already submissions for the project. Haven't looked at those yet. I usually grade those after they close. Make sure it's not a zipped file. Do not make pictures smaller than the original size, and do not make your submission or make sure your submission is orientated correctly. Remember, upright so I can read it. There we go. Upright so I can read it, and then make sure it's in there correctly. Every week should be a project and a Word document. So you're gonna have pictures, or I should say, the project will consist of a Word document and pictures. Make sure those are all submitted together. I'll give you some points if things are missing, and ask for a resubmission with some points lost. Make sure you're doing the quiz. These quizzes are usually forgot about. You can do these quizzes over and over and over till you get 100%. I encourage you to do that. Overall, looks really good for this weekend. Looks really, really good for the first week. Make sure you're posting those help questions in the lab discussion so people can see it, I can see it. That'll definitely help me get to it a lot faster. Good work. And I will share my Google Hangouts later today.